Ever since I saw the vivo X100 Ultra, I've been craving to test this phone. So I jumped on the opportunity to import it and test the cameras. And to no one's surprise, this phone is an absolute camera beast. And to show you folks how good it actually is, let's just compare the cameras to the Galaxy S24 Ultra in this battle of ultras. Hi, I'm Ershad. You're watching Trakin Tech English, your destination for detailed, incisive gadget reviews. The biggest advantage that the other Ultras like the X100 Ultra, Find X7 Ultra and the 14 Ultra have over this Ultra is the Sony LYT-900 sensor. Now that's a 1-inch sensor and the physical size is definitely larger than the 1x1.3-inch sensor used by the S24 Ultra. And that is why when you look at the 100% crop of the images, you see way more details on the X100 Ultra compared to the S24 Ultra. Plus the sharpness of the finer textures are better in Vivo's picture, and this is true for wherever you look in the sample. That's just physics, you know. Now Vivo obviously has different color modes. You get Zeiss Natural, Zeiss Vivid and Zeiss Textured. But I used the Zeiss Natural one to compare, and evidently Vivo does capture the true colors of the reds, blues, greens and the yellows in this scene. Samsung has a tad bit more contrast to deepen out the shades, but otherwise it's not too off the mark. Which is a huge upgrade when you consider Samsung's algorithm, because Samsung never took natural looking photos, it was always boosted, which is not true for the S24 Ultra though. Although the color sense consistency between the different lenses, primary, ultrawide and telephoto, are better achieved by Samsung than Vivo. Now the skin tone rendition although is pitch perfect on both the phones. Samsung exhibits closer to neutral tones where Vivo is slightly warmer to make things look more pleasing, because I switched to the zoom lenses next. On Samsung it's 3x or 69mm and on Vivo it's 3.7x or 85mm. Now when you look at the samples, just take a look at that natural creamy bokeh captured by the X100 Ultra. And when you crop 100%, Vivo just smokes Samsung here. This 3.7x periscope camera is the absolute bomb. Vivo's camera engineers definitely deserve a raise. By the way, I'll talk more about that periscope soon. Now in my HDR comparison, both the phones show excellent flagship HDR tuning. But technically, Vivo does bring out more details in the shadows and cuts out the noise as well. Moreover, the highlight control is slightly better too. The only problem with Vivo right now is that the multi-stack processing is messing up the white balance. The color of the sky and the entire look of the scene has been faithfully reproduced by Samsung here. Also, the HDR tuning is slightly inconsistent on Vivo. It misses a lot, especially when you shoot the sun directly, like in this case. It's a little inconsistent, it's very early software, so keep that in mind. In low light, physics comes into play. Once again, Vivo's 1-inch sensor pulls way more light than the 1x1.3-inch sensor on Samsung. When you look at the 100% crop, Vivo's sample has way more details and sharper textures. Samsung also exhibits a lot of green luminance noise, which is not a problem for Vivo. The algorithm is much cleaner. Easily, the X100 Ultra is better for low light photography than the S24 Ultra. Now, portrait mode was slightly difficult to evaluate side by side, primarily because both of these shoot at different focal lengths. Samsung shoots at 23mm, 46mm, 69mm and 115mm with the 5x, where Vivo shoots at 24, 35, 50, 85 and 100mm. Now comparing the wide 24mm portraits, Samsung actually beats Vivo. You get better edge cutout and a cleaner bokeh drop-off. Plus you will also notice a problem with Vivo's skin tones now. When you shoot portrait shots, Vivo tends to make skin brighter, which I think is a Chinese problem more than anything else, because you know Chinese skin tones are fairer. So when the global release happens, maybe it'll get fixed. But will a global release happen or not? We don't know. But what we do know is that Trakin Tech English provides great content. So hit that subscribe button and support our channel and help us reach 1 million by the end of 2024 so that you can see a clean shaven headshot. Yeah, that thing's happening. Now at 2x, Samsung's portrait has better skin tones while Vivo is brighter. But Vivo's semantic segmentation or edge cutout is better. But when we talk about Vivo's 35 and 85mm portraits, you cannot compare that with Samsung, which can do 69mm and 115mm. But the portrait performance is the same. Vivo has better edge detection but brighter faces. Samsung has better exposure and skin tones but slightly weaker edge detection. But what Vivo does better than Samsung is definitely low light portraits. Plus you get so many different Zeiss portrait lenses that gives it versatility. What I really want from the X100 Ultra's portrait mode is more natural looking skin tone, just like when you would shoot in the regular mode. Now talking about the ultra-wide angle camera, you get a slightly wider field of view on Samsung 13mm compared to 14mm. But more importantly, Samsung's ultra-wide shots are more detailed compared to Vivo, which is also true for the low-light ultra-wide shots. More details on Samsung and less grains as well. Alright, it's time to start zooming in, and the results are very, very interesting. So starting with the 2x in sensor crop, Vivo gets off to a good start by capturing more details than Samsung. At 3x, it's obviously advantage Samsung because optical 3x is greater than digital 3x of Vivo. At 3.7x, it's Vivo's optical victory. Now zooming into 5x, it's a victory for Samsung, but difference is marginal now. Vivo's 5x is actually very, very close in terms of quality. Zooming in even further, at 10x and 20x, I was in for a shock. Vivo beats Samsung easily. Wow. We also zoomed in further to 60x. Here things are interesting because Samsung's text enhancement algorithm with AI comes in handy to enhance that, refuge area text. But if you look at the crisscross patterns of the net, Vivo actually does it way, way better. Now at 100x, Samsung does capture finer textures in the text once again, but other parts of the image, Vivo is more natural looking. This difference in the algorithm reminds me of somebody who wants to age gracefully and they're proud of the gray hair that they have. At the same time, somebody who wants to look better with the use of artificial resources like a hair dye and make it black, that's Samsung for you. And you know what? When you zoom in to take pictures in low light, Vivo beats Samsung at every level, whether it's 2x, 3x, 3.7x, 5x, or 10x. And that's not it. With this 3.7x camera, you can also do telemacro. And oh my God, the focusing distance is so close. Is the vivo X100 Ultra the best macro camera that I've used? Yes. Is it better than the S24 Ultra? Double yes. Alright, moving on to selfies. I had a slightly tough time evaluating it. If not for the skin tone differences, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between Vivo and Samsung here. Just look at a zoomed in crop, both capture the same level of details. But Samsung wins it because it has better skin tones than Vivo. But in portrait selfies, take a look at the edge cutout on Vivo. Every single strand of hair, of my, standing hair, captured and identified and, edged out very well. Although in HDR selfies, Samsung does it better. Even in low light, Samsung does it better. So overall, when you look at, which is the better selfie camera between the two, Samsung's better, but the difference is very little. The difference is also very tiny when you're shooting 4K 60 FPS videos using all the cameras on these phones. Now comparing the rear camera video quality, technically Vivo does capture slightly higher bitrate, so it has slightly more details. Otherwise, both are equally matched in HDR and stabilization. Samsung does have slightly better sound quality though. I am talking from, in front of the phone. Arnav is behind. Arnav, can you say something?
Yes.
I am talking from, in front of the phone. Arnav is behind. Arnav, can you say something?
Yes.
Vivo's low light video recording is slightly superior with better noise control, and you can see that for yourself. And now when you evaluate the ultrawide at 4K 60 FPS, again, it is very difficult to spot the differences really. Now I also shot with the telephoto and I zoomed in with the cameras, and what I noticed is that both these phones do not offer a smooth zoom experience like iPhones do. Now that's been a problem with Android phones for ages. I don't know when it's going to get fixed. However, both are almost equally matched in terms of image performance when you zoom in up to the 20x capability of both the phones. Now just like the selfie camera picture quality where Samsung beat Vivo, even in videos, I think Samsung is slightly better than Vivo, primarily because you get better HDR performance and better sound recording quality as well.
This is the front-facing video sample recorded using the X100 Ultra and the Galaxy S24 Ultra. So both are recording at 4K 60 FPS.
Now that's the performance of the cameras themselves, but both these phones offer a plethora of features. Vivo's new camera features that I really like is that new stage mode for when you want to shoot a concert, which I think is like a very useful feature. And there's a humanistic street style mode, which is a very detailed manual mode with spot metering, focal length adjustments, EV adjustments, white balance selections, and more. It is just very, very detailed. Now in comparison, Samsung uses a lot of algorithm and Galaxy AI to give you some really interesting features as well. The one that I really like in the Galaxy AI suite of features is one where you can convert any regular video into a slow motion video. See, I'm not going into the depth of which one has better features because both have, a lot of features and are almost equally matched in terms of quantity. So you know what? The X100 Ultra is basically a camera that's been given some smartphone capabilities on top of it. That's actually what Vivo says as well. It was just built that way from the ground up. It's a great tool for photographers, whether you're an amateur or a professional. If I can assure you one thing is that this phone can actually make great photographs. Now with the Galaxy S24 Ultra, I don't get that same feeling though. And I don't think Samsung wants that either because their definition of an ultra phone is slightly different. Now the S24 Ultra is an ultra phone because it lets you do absolutely whatever you want to do with ease, and that includes photography as well. Basically, this is Samsung's most ultra phone in all aspects, not just the camera. That's how I look at it. What do you folks think of it? Do let me know, and I'll see you folks in the next one. Adios. Until then, keep tracking and stay safe.